I just got one thing to tell y'all. Pack is back, baby. Huh. Take it to the house, baby. Packers is back. It's the intro, baby.
This is Tom Grossi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast.
Let's go.
Welcome to PackReacts, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here once again to start this NFL season back up. We got a month, about 30 days left till we got the Packers-Brazil game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Hadler, along with our co-host, Mike Aranio. And today, folks, we talking Packers training football. The Pack is back, ladies and gentlemen, as Jair Alexander would say. Mike, how are we feeling about Packers football here?
First off, we're not on X, unfortunately. I went to go live, and I got a red banner here. A premium account on X is required to create live broadcasts on the platform. Apparently, they changed in June that they had to pay to go live on X.
Well, that's fun,
That's
as we
good.
find out it's live here. So that's fun.
Well, that adds to the list of bad things going on in my life. How much is X premium? We have to pay for this now.
Oh, another one, ladies and gentlemen.
$8 a month. All right, well, there goes another $8 a month. I guess I'll have to pay for that.
We'll split that, Mike.
You sure?
Yeah, we'll split that.
All
Split that out.
We'll figure it out. I don't know. You don't have to
Yeah.
split it. We'll see. But we're going to have to go fucking premium now.
right.
Yeah, so yeah, what were you asking again? Say that again?
How are you feeling about Packers football being back? We got a month away till we're in Brazil.
Exactly. August is here already.
Yeah.
A lot changed since the last time, at least in my life. A lot changed since the last time we were live. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the distraction. Looking forward to football. Jordan Love got a new contract, so there's no holdout there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they paid him too much. Well, guess time will tell.
Yep.
But to make him the highest paid quarterback in league history is interesting. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the season being back. Saturday we have, Cleveland versus Packers.
Yep.
Family night was Saturday. I watched the majority of it, although I can't say I paid attention to some of it. But yeah, it's exciting. Obviously, week 1 will be cool. Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got your tickets yet for your game that you're going to?
Yes, my dad's about to purchase tickets. It's not the Packers-Texans game that I mentioned before. It's more likely going to be the Packers-Niners game the day before my birthday. Nice. So that will be fun for that game. So That's the game I'm most likely going to be officially attending, folks.
You've, I haven't done much at all. So I gotta see what I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
But I don't know. I gotta talk to my dad about it. I gotta see where we're gonna go. But I do want to go to a game together at one point. So I gotta figure that out.
Yes, we definitely have to.
I gotta get a better mindset before I do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. But Mike, let me ask you with Jordan Love here. He's getting paid this amount of money. He might be a little overpaid, but do you think it was the right decision for the Packers to make?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what other choice do you have? When you have a quarterback that is, the caliber of Jordan Love, obviously there's still a lot to be proven in Jordan's perspective. But when you have a quarterback of his caliber, someone who sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 4 years, you're already invested a lot. Although, there's definitely something to be said about like sunk costs. You don't want to keep, putting more resources into something that's a sunk cost. But when you invest so much time into something and you invest everything that kind of
who's invested into Jordan, you have to commit to him in a big way this year, and he deserves it. I don't know if he deserves again number one money, but if he grows into it, then it'll be a great move. The big question will be the next contract.
Yep.
That's the thing with football; it's not a commitment for life; it's a commitment for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
But no, he definitely deserves the contract, especially after the playoff run they had last year. They didn't lose because of him. If anything, they definitely won a lot of games because of him. Yeah, I'm excited for Jordan. I think he's going to have a big season. But sometimes you have to invest in somebody early on and then give them the commitment after that investment to make sure that you have the opportunity to reap dividends moving forward.
Definitely. I mean, the money I think is a little bit overpaid, but again, like what are you gonna do? Because if anything, if he balls out, like for example, like Lamar Jackson had, he got his big contract after like his MVP, like putting up a great season, and the prices went up more. What's that not the same if that's gonna happen with Jordan Love? If he's gonna put up like a fantastic season once again, the price is gonna go more and more and more because it's not like what he got right now of 55 million per season. It could be 65. That could be extra like money here because of what he puts on the season, because he's going to demand more money because the price for quarterbacks goes up every single time, and it's just going to get higher and higher and higher. Even if you have the best or worst quarterbacks, they're still going to get paid high. Like Daniel Jones is almost getting paid the same amount as Patrick Mahomes, which is ridiculous. That's how like the margin keeps going with the quarterbacks. Now, I think you had to pay Jordan Love. I think you just had to. But the question was going to be how much you're going to pay him and can he perform again? Because from the sample size that we've gone through, Mike, and we've seen him over the years of like what the heck are we going to see out of this guy? Because at the beginning of the season, beginning of last season, that guy did not deserve it at all. From what we saw, what we were looking at, especially for the first 8 games. Those last 8 games and the playoffs changed our minds a bit because not only was he not bad in the first, he was bad, but not that bad that people give him hate on him for the first 8 games. The last 8 games, he was arguably the best quarterback in the NFL and could have well been in the MVP race for that short amount of time because he put up elite, ridiculous numbers from the last year. But you have to go look at it from like you say the guy for 3 years. It's kind of going back to the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers sat under Favre for years. He played 8 games. The first 8 games that we saw for Aaron Rodgers in his first season when he was starting out, Packers paid him a lot of money in his first contract. That's the same that goes with Jordan Love. It's the same way that the Packers have looked at quarterbacks, and that's why we're so good is because we know how to work with the great quarterbacks. We started with Favre, moved on to Rodgers, and now it's Love. And that has been 32 years, Mike. 32 years of those 3 quarterbacks of where we had great QB success. I think he absolutely is going to get it of the money and absolutely deserves it. But that just goes to show you how the process has worked. And now other teams are trying to do this. Giants try to do it with Daniel Jones and Eli Manning. So far, that's not worked out. Obviously, we know with the Atlanta Falcons, Michael Penix Jr. and Kirk Cousins. And Penix is going to be Super Bowl when that happens. But the way we're looking at this with Jordan Love is we're seeing him ball out so far in training camp. He's not been rusty. He's not looking terrible from what we saw the first couple games in the last season. He's still looking like the guy we saw from those last 8 games, especially in Dallas and San Francisco.
Yeah. And what you mentioned about the Favre to Rodgers to Love. I think that's the Packers recognizing how important quarterback position is to the team. Knowing that there really is no team without, a top-notch quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the pieces around the team, but without a quarterback leading the show, you're not going to be very successful.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing the Packers have always been very good at is preparing themselves for the next opportunity when you start to see the writing on the wall, the old opportunity ending.
Yep.
And hopefully Jordan Love will continue that into this year and into the future. And if not, we definitely paid him a lot. But, the Packers recognize the importance of the quarterback position. Not always going to be perfect, but the reason why they have him sit for years behind a All-Pro Hall of Famer is to try to have him learn from that player and, take as much skills as he can from there and also mature. Mature as a man, mature as a football player, mature as a member of the community over this period of time. And I think, Jordan, you could definitely see the maturity in him. You could definitely see he got engaged earlier this year or in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's, set up himself well for success this season, and I think he'll be successful. I have a lot of faith in this team. Packers made a lot of big moves during the offseason. But yeah, I think from Jordan's perspective,
Yeah, they need to get a deal done. Did they overpay? Probably a little bit, but probably better to overpay and keep him than, cause
That's
risks there.
Yep.
You can't cause risks for your star quarterback. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, we've seen it. What would happen when Rodgers came in? Favre was in the NFC Championship game, the 0-7 one against the Giants, where the Packers were not expected to be there. They lose to the Giants, unfortunately. Then they get rid of Favre. Rodgers comes in. Then we see what happens when that happened in 2020 after they lose the NFC Championship game against the Niners. Jordan Love gets drafted. And we just see it over and over again if Packers losing the playoffs, as we always have seen in the past couple of years, specifically the last 10 years has been annoying to watch, and we haven't seen the team win the Super Bowl. I got Jordan Love because not many people thought the Packers were going to win a lot of games. That includes us. We did not think they were going to win a lot of games. At best, we said maybe win 9 games. That was the at best part. But we didn't think that we would be seeing like them be a great team. And we saw this team be great because not only did Goody ball out in the draft, not only did Matt LaFleur do a great job as a head coach, even though he should have been honorable mention for Coach of the Year, that team went through struggles. And we saw it all through last season. We saw them go have highs. We saw them lows and back and forth and just annoyance with that. But they are coming into this year to try and host that Lombardi because they are a Super Bowl contending team. They are a very young team as well. They have to be disciplined. They have to have that right mindset. And the big thing I will say about this team is there's more leaders on this team than I could say in the past couple of years. You can go look at every position. There's good leaders on each side of the ball here for both. And the Packers went after that in the free agency with Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. Both of them were star leaders on their team, and both are elite guys too. But they are very key on the leadership too. Then you go look at Jordan Morgan. He was also a great leader on his team in college. And he's starting right guard, folks, for right now in this first preseason game upcoming. So it goes to show Packers are really ready for that mindset. And Jordan Love is ready to take this team and just help them out more because we're getting the right piece at the right time. We're very young, and we're looking to stride. We are looking to take it from what we started here and get our way to the Super Bowl. That is what we're trying to do right now. And that is what I'm seeing right here because the defense is looking a lot more happier, looking a little bit better. It's still time to tell how we actually do against other teams. But it'll be very interesting to see with that. Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. LaFleur's not giving him the training wheels. It's all gas, no brakes with Jordan Love as of right now. And we saw that would happen last year. So this year is Super Bowl contention. We are right back into the conversation where we have been for the last 10 years. We go against the Eagles. We go against the Niners of conversations, the Lions, to try and be the best team in the NFC, but also be in the conversation for the best team in the NFL if we can get that far of the wins. It really depends on how this team performs and how well they can do up expectations because expectations have been a crucial thing for the Packers because look at the past couple of years, number one seeds, and we lose very badly in the playoffs. When this team has expectations, they usually don't do well. But when everybody doubts them, they always do well, and that's what happened last year. So this is going to be the question. Can they attack the expectations? Can they face those expectations and overcome them? That's my question for this team now.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think expectations definitely can be something that affects you.
Mhm.
Look at the 49ers last year, right? They had a ton of expectations on them. Packers almost beat them, and they made the Super Bowl, lost to Kansas City, but everyone thought that they'd make the Super Bowl. They did, but didn't get the job done again. 49ers is a team that keeps making it to the Super Bowl or pretty far deep into the playoffs and losing, kind of like the Packers were a few years ago. We have a lot of expectations on you, and a lot of people are looking for you to do something. If you get pretty how do I put this? If you get pretty just it can mess with you in your head, because you're always thinking about what other people think, right? And
Yeah.
when you don't have any expectations, kind of like what happened on the run the table season or last year after they kind of thought they were out of it, you start to play a little bit loose. Mindset changes a little bit. If we lose, we were expected to lose anyway, so why not give it our all and see if we can win?
Mm.
So I think you're right. I think the Packers definitely have more expectations on them this year after the way they played in the playoffs last year. Do anyone expect them to win the Super Bowl? Probably not. Is it on the table? I would say so. Did people think they're going to win NFC North? Probably the Lions would be the favorite. The Packers probably pretty up there with the Lions, and who knows? Maybe the Bears could have a shot too. I don't think anyone's counting on the Vikings making it, but yeah, I mean, I think external factors, while should not be a part of football or life in general, it's easier said than done. When there's a lot of expectations and a lot of external influences on somebody, you get pretty stressful, and when things are stressful, you kind of shut down. So, I think it's a good point. I think Packers will be okay though. I don't see any issue really there with the Packers, but yeah, I think this is a mid time for the Packers in terms of expectations. I think their definitely expectations are higher than last year, but it's not necessarily anything to be through the roof, So if anything, we only have positives, only room to grow. That's what you want. You want room to grow. You need to leave room to grow. You got to make sure people don't expect the world of you, and leave room to grow, and then where you surprise people pleasantly and not let them down.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we head over to talking about Packers family night, there is one thing that we have said on this channel, and I'll bring it up again because this is what we've debated about going back to the conversations before, is about being stuck in the river. Are the Packers stuck in the river anymore, Mike? Because to me, it doesn't look like that. And what we're going through right now is we're seeing a bright future down the river, and that's where they're heading. They're not stuck in the middle like they were. They're getting pieces, they're getting more ammo. They're getting that army back up, and they're going at it. They're going right at it, and they're flowing down the river. They're not stuck in the middle of it. They're going right through it.
Interesting question. I think sometimes you need to lose something in order to open yourself up. I think with Darren Rodgers, right, that was a lot of drama holding people back, probably on both sides.
Yep.
I think the separation there is something that helped the Packers and helped Rodgers in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So I think last year was the beginning of getting stuck out of the mud. They almost completely got out of it in one season, but that obviously didn't happen. But I mean, I definitely think they're set up to continue the upward trajectory and getting out of that. I think the euphemism or the symbolism of going from Rodgers to Love is really kind of what you're trying to get at there. And I think that transition is going to be the big one. Luckily, the Packers were able to prepare themselves for transition, so it wasn't a long transition, at least we hope.
Yeah.
But, you know, the quarterback position is so integral to the success of a football team, especially in the NFL. And, yeah, I think with change, there's opportunity for the good or the worse. Hopefully, it's for the better. But we'll see. I mean, they have invested a lot in Love based off of limited production on the field. There's no guarantee. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. There's no guarantee he lives up to what he was on the field last year.
Yeah.
Especially down the stretch and in the playoffs. And they don't have the luxury of just writing it off and moving on to the next guy. So Love is your quarterback, at least for the next 4 or 5 years. That's not changing. So he's the guy. So let's hope that this is a happy marriage, not a divorce. But that's what they committed. That's what they committed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of getting out of the mud, like I said, they definitely changed it around. But I don't know you can say they got out of the mud until they have some success and sustain it. Were they ever out of the mud? They never won a Super Bowl since 2010. Never made it to the Super Bowl since 2010. So I think the period of transition is more what you're referring to. They're definitely out of the period of transition. They're in the next stage because it's not changing. I mean, they're it's signed on the dotted line on his contract, so that's not happening. It's not changing. So for better or for worse, it's Jordan Love and the Packers the next 5 years.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, we have that, and then lost Aaron Jones. I saw with John was posting on Twitter. He's still trying to get through that of how Aaron Jones is still not Packer, which is still surprising to me at this point. But you have Josh Jacobs now, another leader, another younger guy who can go right at it. So that's been nice there. But it's just going to be very interesting to see, can this team, I mean, as I was mentioning about the river, can they keep it going? Like, can they float on the boat? Is the boat going to sink? Like, that's my question of, like, we saw some success, but as you're mentioning, it's not guaranteed. So we don't know if it's going to happen again or not.
Yeah. I think the Josh Jacobs move, I don't know. I'm an Aaron Jones fan. He was my favorite Packer on the team last year. Probably was the right move.
Yeah.
Hate to break it to you. Probably was the right move. So I'm not too sad about it, although I do love Aaron Jones. The way he went out wasn't the best.
Yep.
He definitely had a lot of animosity to the team. I think they wanted to invest a lot of money into an aging running back. I mean, Aaron Jones did provide a lot of locker room presence and other aspects other than just playing this field. And the performance on the field is really great in the playoffs. Obviously, he gets hurt a lot, so that's a concern. Me, if you watched last year, I was just probably a little bit more vocal last year. We'll see if I get back to the vocalness this year. But I was all on the boat of keeping Aaron Jones and getting rid of A.J. Dillon. I don't know. I've heard that A.J. Dillon is in the best shape of his life. Maybe this is the kind of kick in the butt he needed to improve. He's obviously younger than Aaron Jones. They got him on a really cheap contract. I was right last year saying that if there's one way you keep A.J. Dillon, it's for super cheap on like basically a vet minimum deal, and that's what they did. So I think it's probably going to be better. Keep A.J. Dillon, have Josh Jacobs. It's been a while since I paid attention to the draft, but they did draft somebody that's pretty good, right?
Yes, they drafted Lloyd from USC.
Yeah, Marshawn Lloyd, thanks. So, have a young running back room with 3 guys that should be able to, contribute pretty extensively throughout the season. I think it's the right move. I don't think you necessarily need Aaron Jones in the room, other than the veteran leadership, which I think they're going to miss. But now that Jordan Love has a contract, some of the receivers have been in for a few years. Like they probably could get away without the veteran present as much.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to our next topic, which is Packers family football night and training camp so far. I'd like to give a shout out to this one local kid who caught 3 footballs on family football night. That was better than most of the guys catching of Packer players. This little kid caught 3 footballs and held on to it, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty significant, and that guy has a bright future for him. But that is such a fun way to watch there, especially for family football night, and that made the kids' night. That made his awesome experience so great.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. They started out and neither of them were catching anything, and then this kid catches one, puts it underneath his arm, catches the second one, and then somehow catches the third too, which I don't think anyone was expecting. Whole team rushed the field. It was a pretty special moment for the kid. For sure, pretty special moment for the team. Pretty special moment for the fans watching. I mean, I was pretty excited.
Yeah, especially when Chris Bisaccia just act like he won the Super Bowl too when he's just running towards the kid.
Yeah, I mean that was a great moment. I don't know how he did it. I mean, the ball. I don't know if they're regulation size footballs, but this kid must be no more than 13, 14 years old. So if they were regulation size footballs, that's pretty impressive. I honestly probably can't even hold 2. So, I mean, I guess going under your arm, you probably could, but pretty impressive. I did not know how he did it. Jaden Reed caught 6, so obviously it's possible because Jaden Reed's an NFL football player. But, yeah, good for the kid.
Definitely. I mean, that was just fun to see that. And then as always for family football night there at Packers, it's sold out as usual, 80,000 fans coming for a practice. Nobody ever from any other football team ever goes to practice of that large crowd. It's special with the family football night at Packers. Having those 80,000 fans is just always awesome. It's awesome tradition, like they always are. And there were great plays just watching with Jordan Love. Like he got into the sling of it. He was throwing bullets at it. But then there's also some great defensive plays too here and there. Like both sides were benefiting. It wasn't just one side dominating the whole time. It was both sides were really dominating. And that has been throughout training camp as well. But it's been pretty cool to see that because you're not just seeing one side dominate. Both sides are going right at it. So that's pretty good to see, I will say.
Yeah. I like that they streamed it this year. They haven't done that in a long time. I think they used to stream it on the the local Fox station's website. This is the first time the Packers ever streamed it, and for a few years, no one streamed it. So that was nice to be able to watch it in New York. Jeremy could watch it in Delaware, right? That's where I am.
Yeah.
So wherever you are around the world,
yeah,
watch Family Night now. Hopefully they do it again next year.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's much to give up from it. I mean, it's a practice. Like, really, somebody really cares that much, they could just go to Wisconsin to watch it as a scout. I think the risk is pretty low. And I don't see the concern with streaming it. Like I said, the Vikings could just go right to Wisconsin to watch it. The Bears could go right to Wisconsin to watch it. Detroit, same thing. I don't know. To stream it, I thought that was pretty lame always, that they thought someone was going to steal their practice. Or just send somebody to watch it in the stands.
Yeah.
I don't understand what the concern is. So, I don't know. But they did it this year, so obviously they kind of agree with me. I don't think they have a recording of it up online. I think that's okay. Basically tell people, I mean, if it's on TV, you don't get a recording of that either. So, they're basically saying if you're interested, come live. If not, too bad. I think that's fine because then other teams can replay it. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think streaming it should be a normal thing in 2024. So I'm glad they did that this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was very fun to watch that too, especially when you're at work and you're just like that, and you're trying to figure out something to do, and that's on. It's always fun to watch that. So that's pretty good. I did want to ask you though, Mike, with training camp and family nights, about the kicker situation. with Anders Carlson, Joseph. How we feeling here about this kicker situation?
Yeah, so Greg Joseph, I believe, is doing significantly better than Anders Carlson. I wouldn't say significantly, but definitely better. Right? So I guess the question is, do you give up on a young kicker that you drafted a year ago that had trouble down the line? I believe he missed the field goal in that divisional game that could have been pretty important if I'm not misremembering, right?
Yeah.
He missed a very important field goal. I don't think it was ultimately the reason we lost, but it could have been. Somebody said I have a lot of negative mindsets. That has something to do with the Packers. So hopefully
that's Carson.
Carson. Well,
Yeah.
come on, you know what I have. I mean, you know who I am. It's a different year, so I got to get back in the group. But yeah, I think probably Greg Joseph wins right now based off his performance. The question is, do they give up on Anders Carlson with his age?
That's the question. Are you going to keep a 2 roster spot open for kickers? Like, no one ever does that. Like 2 spots for a kicker. You might put him on the practice squad at best, but you're not going to hold 2 roster spots for kickers. You're not going to do that.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. So it's one or the other. I mean, I guess in theory, Anders Carlson, if they don't sign him to go into the practice squad, I guess either one of them technically go in the practice squad. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Is this going to be the question? Because Greg Joseph has been the guy so far that's been nailing it back and forth. I mean, I believe it was either today or yesterday that both of them went 1 for 3 in terrible wind conditions, so that wasn't terrible. That's just both of them. But it's going to be very interesting to see because they just signed another kicker too, Mike. So it's going to be like they're trying to figure out.
Really?
Yeah, they signed another kicker apparently. So now it's another like 3-way race here. They're trying to figure out who is this, and this is something that they should have done a year ago, in my opinion. But now they're addressing it because they saw what happened to them in the Niners game.
Yeah, no, I think competition is good. Whenever you can take competition, you do it, right? So, whoever wins the battle, I think they got to get the job. I don't think Anders Carlson should get a leg up because of his age. Obviously, he had last year and didn't prove it 100%. So, whoever wins it in camp should get the position.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be one of the big things coming out of training camp is seeing who's going to be the kicker for the Packers to start the season. And then I'm also very curious to see where Morgan lines up because he's right guard as of right now. So that's going to be interesting to see where he's lined up if he's going to start the season or not, because they got Walker on the left side, you got Jenkins, then you got your center Myers, then right guard again, Morgan, then right tackle. Like, you've seen Zach Tom there as well. So we see very interesting how the offensive line is lined up and how the starters are. I'm also curious to see how the defense is going to be because we got the best linebacker in the draft, Mike Cooper. We got to see a better defensive line, definitely. We're going to see
Bullard is really good.
We're seeing Bullard. He's looking like the starter here for the safety to go alongside Xavier McKinney. So that's going to be a pretty nice addition there. So it goes to me. It's looking like right now we got a good role from this draft here that we're seeing. Question is though, can they do in the game? And we're going to see when that happens when we get to Philadelphia and in these preseason games as well. We're going to see how that's going to play out for us. But I'm very interested to see how Jeff Hafley runs the defense. That's going to be very interesting of how aggressive he is. I also expect Rashawn Gary to have a big season though. He looks like he's running the right mindset. And we debated about it last season of, is he the elite? Is he a top 10 edge rusher? He was getting paid that amount of money of top 10, but is he truly? Because he showed in a couple games and he didn't show in a couple games. This year, me personally, I don't know about you, Mike, I think he's going to show it. I think he's going to definitely be a top 10, and he's looking hungry, and he's Rashawn Gary. That man is ready. Also seeing nice things about Lucas Van Ness too. He's ready to go, especially against the run. They've looked pretty good. And I'm waiting to see that defensive line actually be solid because for so many years, and we've known it forever, Mike, that the D-line has sucked. This time, I'm wondering how it's going to go with Jeff Hafley, of how we're really going to be aggressive because we're seeing much faster, versatile, athletic, and smart leader guys out here. And that's been very interesting to see. And you got the nice CB room with the secondary, especially we mentioned the safeties. But you got to look out for Eric Stokes because Eric Stokes is I would say, under pressure a lot because he's been off and on. He had a pretty good rookie season, and then he has been the same since due to injuries, and he's also been bad. So that's been interesting to see who's been the second CB that does well. You also got Nixon, and then, of course, you got Jair. Ja Money. He likes to bring the pack back, baby, of football.
Yeah, there you go. I think Rashawn Gary hope has a good season. Like we said last year, he needs to take that step into the elite from very good. I want to see him go to the elite pass rusher level. If Lucas Van Ness got a big season, we're going to need him to step up. I guess I need to have a better season because I'm already getting called out. Here's the thing, I'm a glass half empty Packers fan. So. No, it has nothing to do with the Packers. Sorry. If I'm a little bit subdued this episode, I'll have to get more excited like I normally am. But Carson's been on the show. He knows what I usually am like. No, I wouldn't say I'm a glass half empty Packers fan. Definitely going through a few things. So a little bit, yeah, on the downside this time. But I wouldn't say it has anything to do with the Packers. So I actually think this is going to be a good season. I think there's a lot to look forward to. I think, Jordan Love's new contract is definitely going to give him a little pep in the step. I think everyone around him is definitely going to have the pep in the step knowing that the Packers committed to Jordan Love. So I think this is going to be a good season. I'm excited.
I'm excited as well.
Excited as I can be with my glass half empty mindset.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited because it'll be very fun, especially when we get to February, Mike. It'll be very fun for that. So it's going to be very fun watching that, watching the Super Bowl in person too, folks. So it's very fun watching.
Yeah, right. You're going, right?
Going to the
So
Super Bowl.
win.
So
but you actually can watch the game or no? You're working.
That's a great question. I don't know yet. So I'll find that out when it gets close to the date. I'll find out, but it'll be very awesome that experience. So hopefully the Packers join me and not the Cowboys because the Cowboys still suck, but also so does the rest of the NFC North besides the Packers.
That's right.
That's how it be. And I would not like the 49ers to make it in. I'd rather see another Chiefs Super Bowl if I had to battle out between the Niners and the Chiefs. Personally, me. But yeah, it's be very interesting. It'll be very fun to go to that, which we'll get into more details as we get throughout the season. And one thing I do like to mention, going back to the Packers defense, and we forgot to mention this, was not Rashawn Gary, excuse me. Kenny Clark got a contract extension, Mike. How are we feeling about Kenny Clark getting a third contract extension?
I honestly wasn't too following it that much, so I don't know how much I can add, but was it more to create cap space for Jordan Love, or was it actually a true extension that
it was a bit of both. It was a contract extension, but it also helped the Packers save a bit of money here and there. But with the contract extension, pretty much he's almost like guaranteed to like finish this. He got a 3-year contract extension, if I'm correct. So it should be looking pretty
on top
good.
of where the other one was ending.
Yeah.
And when was the other one ending? In 2 years? So it's like 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's a true extension. Yeah. No, I think that's good. Kenny is my age. I think he's a month younger than me. So he's got to be almost 29. So that'll bring him to 34 or something. Yeah, you're right. Probably finish career as a Packer.
Yeah. 2028 is when he would be a free agent. But, Mike, he'd be 33 years old, though.
Yeah. I know.
So that's just crazy to see that, though.
Scary getting older, believe me. That's part of my negative mindset.
Especially when you turn 30 and you become an old man.
Yeah.
That's the thing that most people say today is once you turn 30, you look like you're an 80-year-old person, folks. Don't know why, but that is a thing out there. It is a thing.
No, that definitely affected me getting up to 30. I think I had a little bit of a crisis, I should say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's scary. It's scary getting to that age.
It is definitely. But folks, before we head out, before we're done, we got to mention a couple things here for this upcoming season because me and Mike had our chats a couple weeks ago about it, of what we wanted to do, incorporate for this upcoming year. First thing is we're going to have a special guest on most of the time, which has been John. So John will be coming up more often. He'll be coming on the shows more often. So that's a big thing. The other big things we had is we're going to stream a lot more. And we're going to still see about Twitter and all that because we got to go through that, the post-game, pre-game. But we're going to try and stream more games. We're going to try and stream Packer games when we can and if we can. Because so far our record has sucked. We have not won a game together, Mike, when we have streamed it. So we are going to break
the debacle both times. So
we are going to break that this year.
Oh, yeah,
and then hopefully we have me and Mike go out to a game together. Hopefully we get to have that. Or if it's not in the regular season, hopefully the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we see that. I mean, we almost went to one a couple years ago, Mike, but unfortunately that didn't happen.
Agree.
So there's that. And then for fun, because this is going to happen, I won't be there, but Mike will be there, is he's going to be at the NFL draft.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. I still haven't got my flight. I got to do that. So, yeah, that's the plan. I did have the hotel, though.
So Mike will be providing the coverage and the content out there, and probably won't go live during when Mike's going because he won't care. He'll just be like, just give me the pick already, guys.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll try to get some content out there.
So
hopefully I'm a better mindset at that point than I am right now. So
yes, it's a process, folks. It's a process. And then, again, we're going to have more guests on. We're going to try and get more guests on like we've had over the years. We're going to have people that we've had on before. We're going to have some fun Packers fact here and there. Have some question a day. We're going to be doing a lot of more fun. And we might be doing a NFL Pick'ems League, folks, for the NFC North edition here for the PackReacts. We might be doing that, ladies and gentlemen. But that's so far what we got here of the updates for the PackReacts podcast. And I'd like to say this is the anniversary, Mike, of us doing this.
Wow. How many years?
I think this has been about 4 years, Mike.
4 years.
I think it's been about 4 years since we've gone through with this because it was the Packers-Vikings game is when we first met. Packers-Vikings game where it was the one where we won in COVID at Minnesota, and it was Davante Adams touchdown, frozen bullet right in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, Jimmy, we were talking about this offline beforehand. Wasn't for certain things in my life, I don't know if we would have met. So that's probably why I'm a little bit negative here for what's his name? Carson.
Yeah.
A lot of things have changed in my life in the past few months. But if it wasn't for meeting Jeremy, if it wasn't for my old situation, wouldn't have met Jeremy. So I'm glad we met. I'm glad we started the podcast. Glad that we provide some entertainment, although I'm sure this is not super entertaining this episode. I need to be more of my positive self moving forward. But, definitely glad we met. Definitely glad that we're doing this because it's fun. It's fun to talk about the Packers, and you don't have an outlet. What do you have? So, that's what the Packers are.
Exactly. And that's what the podcast is also about, is just talking Packers football and just doing it for fun. We're not in this for the money, we would like to, if we could, really.
And now we're going to go negative. We have to pay for X, so,
Yeah. You know what? It's for the fun, though, Mike. It's for the fun. We're doing it for the people, and we love to start in this chat because this was the whole purpose of the podcast that we've done, Mike, is to just talk Packers football with people and just try to get entertained. And we've had people across the country come on this channel, watch this channel, and it's been awesome doing this with you.
Totally has.
And
you too, Jeremy.
It's been awesome doing it with you and with the people that have watched us. So I'd like to commend us on the anniversary here.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been good. A lot of changes in 4 years. Let's just say that. A lot of changes in 4 years. A lot will change in the next 4 years, but I do have faith we'll be doing this for a long time to come. The Packers will be here for 4 years. The PackReacts will be here for 4 years. So it's another 4 years.
Hopefully win a Super Bowl in this podcast timeline as
well. Hopefully, I think so. I think it will be, It's definitely not half empty there,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. He was a guest. Come on. I mean, look, I get definitely have more subdued than I normally am, which might be a good thing for some people. Some people probably think I'm crazy some of the time. So, it's a different me.
Yeah. But that's all we got here, ladies and gentlemen. And this upcoming Saturday, the Packers will be playing against the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback, not Deshaun Watson. Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback, and Jordan Love will also be playing, probably for maybe the first quarter, a couple plays. That's about it. But that's going to be happening. Most of the stars are not playing for the Browns as well. So it'll be very interesting to see the guys that step up and watching this rookie group and the second years as well, because we're very young. So it's going to be pretty cool to see how they all do.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, I mean, good to see Jordan Love out there. Hopefully, it's just a driver at max too. But if they get the win, not that it matters too much, but it'll be good to see some younger guys out there. 4:30, right? 4:30 Eastern.
Yep.
Saturday.
Yep.
Looking forward to it in Cleveland.
It would be nice. Yes, it would be nice to go undefeated the whole time, though, Mike. That would be nice. But that will not happen.
In the preseason?
Preseason, regular season, and playoffs.
You want to go 20 or what 20-0?
Yeah, I think 20-0. I like to go 20-0.
Well, no, I guess more than that, right?
Or maybe
17 game season, so 20 and then 23 now. Right?
Yeah. So there we
19
go.
20-0 is without the preseason. So with the preseason, it'd be 23 now. Yeah, there's our glass glass completely empty or completely full mentality. So
exactly.
All right.
So I
think we're gonna cut it short today.
Yep.
I'm feeling a little bit sick. So that's I think the episode. Definitely, like I said, or like we said, it's an exciting training camp so far. It'll be interesting to see where we land in this first preseason game, and hopefully we'll be back next week to discuss how it happened on the field on Saturday. And looking forward to, if I'm not mistaken, what's the next game? The Ravens is the third game, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
We got the Ravens. We have the Browns. We got some other game. I can't remember. I haven't looked at the schedule. I haven't looked at the preseason schedule. I should look better on
Broncos.
Broncos. Thank you.
Browns,
we're on
Broncos, Ravens.
We are on the NFL Network, ladies and gentlemen, for the Broncos game.
Nice.
So yeah, that is it though.
Okay. Cool.
All right, folks. That does it here for PackReacts here. You know where to find us as usual here. We know Mike on the Twitter, and we'll be focusing better on the Twitter and hopefully resolving the issue.
Yeah, sorry that we couldn't get this on Twitter. This is a YouTube only exclusive here. But I guess next week will be $4 each for a month. So we'll be back on X.
Yep, definitely. So we'll be back. We'll try and be back on X. Continue on the YouTube as well. We'll try to work stuff out, but that's all here on PackReacts, folks. We appreciate everyone tuning in. And the glass half empty, well, it's going to be full when we raise the Lombardi Trophy, folks. It's going to be full.
Yep,
so
I agree.
That's how it be. That's our producer, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.